Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Teevee Marketing Show. My name is Teevee, and in today's show, I have the one, the only, Carla Troncoso. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
This is a special interview. Usually, I don't have interviews. Well, I take that back. I did have an interview recently, but not for this particular show format. I'm really pushing the podcasting idea, the video podcasting. I got the rigs, I got these mics, I got the camera, and I also have a fantastic human being named Carla, who was willing to be my guinea pig because she also owns a business. But let us jump into that right now because there's a lot to share here. Carla's going to be a case study in a lot of things, so let's get to know her. 1 second. Hi, Carla.
Hi.
Do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world. Tell us your name, what you do, and what makes you special to me.
What makes me special to you?
Okay. Yes.
So my name is Carla Troncoso. I own Mamacita Yoga. I teach prenatal yoga. That's my business. I also offer mommy and baby classes, couples classes as my business. What else was the question? Name, what do I do, the name of my business, and why do you love me?
Yes, tell them, why do I love you?
Did you already say I'm your girlfriend?
I did not. I said that in the previous take that we totally cut because I screwed it up.
So I'm his girlfriend.
A little over 3 years. No, going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years.
Going on 3 years. Yes. When I first met her, I actually met her in yoga class. No. I met her in dance. That's another story. But she invited me to yoga class. I did a yoga and
we got to know each other.
Really got to know each other intimately during those two classes.
My class.
Yes, and that's when she first shared her passion and desire to do this Mamacita yoga thing. I loved it because it's a fantastic idea. She's serving this group of people that need love, need attention, and need some type of relief. Now, there are challenges to this job, which are, the biggest for me is that it's a select group of people that are only pregnant, and her target market, they are only her target market at a very small time for 9 months. And if she's lucky, she might see them for 5 or 6 months.
It's true. Yeah, they very rarely come when they first become pregnant. It's usually like
a little further along. Mm-hmm. So those were the challenges. I knew that then, but the idea itself is there. It just needed to evolve and grow. So tell the audience a little bit about that initial journey, because you tell the story.
The journey of
starting the first attempt.
So I started Mamacita Yoga in 2019, August 2019. So it's coming up, my anniversary. So when I really went in and I got business cards. Well, rewind. I had one of my best friends, Steve Novi.
Shout out Steve Novi. Fantastic illustrator.
He's an artist, and I had this idea, I had the name, but I wanted the logo to be something very special. So I worked with him, and he created a beautiful logo of a pregnant woman with a very cute bun. I spent a lot of time, on her bun. Okay. With watercolor behind the mom. So once I got that was a process, of course. I got business cards. So like that,
That's when you're official. When you get business
funny.
cards.
Well,
I remember that phase.
I think I did create my social media pages first, and then I had my business cards made, and then I felt like it was official. I quit my full-time job. I was managing a yoga studio and teaching at the studio, so I quit there, and I was full like on. And that's when we really got to know each other, was a couple weeks before I quit.
Yep. Luckily. I got lucky.
And
then what happened?
And then I shared.
But you launched it. You were pushing hard. She was doing classes. She was renting here, renting there.
Yes. So then what I was doing was finding usually dance studios where it was just an open space, and started teaching. Got weekly classes going. I had Teevee helping me, teaching me the marketing and how to work the ads and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, I was doing great. I felt like I finally got some momentum. I did find a new location, was a little bigger. Dana's Dance Studio. Taught a couple there. And then I was really excited because I actually found a yoga studio in South Lake. It was called the Yoga Studio. Period.
Right in the nose.
And I was so excited because it was perfect. It was beautiful. They had all this stuff already, so I didn't have to haul all my things,
It's a beating.
It is a beating after every class, having to load and unload the pillows and blocks and everything. So a lot of labor.
Got it. Insert laugh track. You got this.
So I found this yoga studio. I had one class scheduled, but this was March 2020, and this was when COVID.
Dun, 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 dun. The world stood still.
Yeah, there was a lot of things closing. A lot of people were canceling trips because this was in, say, February, end of February, March time. So people were canceling their trips, and they were getting ready to close, and they weren't going to let me teach the class. And I was really hoping that I could at least teach one. And I feel like they really didn't want to, but they let me anyways. So I did teach one class at the studio, and
they shut it down.
And it was perfect. It was great. And I met some new moms, and that was the end of Mamacita Yoga.
Then what happened?
In
What
2020.
did you have to do, though?
I had to stop. I had to completely come to a stop, just like a lot of businesses. I had no idea what I was going to do.
Sorry, I'm over here trying to figure out how to sit because these chairs sit back.
Kind of fall in.
Yeah, my back is hurting. Don't mind me.
So I want to say it was like a couple of weeks that I kind of just stayed home, and we were trying to figure out, like, should we freak out? Should we not? Like, what do we do? But I was a part of a group on Facebook. I was invited by a previous student who's a doula, and she added me to the group. It was like a DFW birth group, something. I don't remember. But she reached out to the group and asked if anybody knew someone that could watch a 3-year-old, because one of her clients was going to be going into labor soon. And I reached out to her and I said I was interested. I love kids, and I could use the money for sure. And I met the family. We got along instantly. I was a nanny for 2 years. I had a 2-year contract with this family. I left in June of this year.
Mm-hmm. So fast forward to today. You started essentially from that point forward.
From that point forward, because I had decided it was time for me to start my business back up.
The world opened up. And now it's time to do the thing again.
Yeah, it's
Mamacita Yoga.
Start back where I ended up. I feel like I kind of just ish, but then it kind of feels like I'm starting over.
Yeah, you're essentially starting over, but yet not starting over because you have a lot of intelligence that you've accumulated over that time. So I guess to move the conversation along, and the reason I brought her on is because she is essentially she's an owner, she's a business owner, and she's trying to figure out what to do, how to do the marketing thing, how to present her business to the general public, how to attract mamacitas to be pregnant women, how to get them interested in this yoga thing. So I guess the question now is, what are you doing? What are you doing to try to find moms to be and attract them and be interested in doing prenatal yoga? What have you discovered?
I am doing a lot of social media. That's my way of reaching out to moms, to mamacitas. You taught me how to write a story and really talk to the moms' pains, joys. I think also being a nanny, have a different
That's right.
perspective and adding to the post. So a lot of posts, creating Facebook ads is my primary way of, I guess, getting out there.
Why are you doing ads though?
Because it works.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but it is also true. It's because it's something I preach, and because it
you
works.
Preach and
Yeah,
because it
I
works.
preach it all the time.
The first round of Mamacita, like that's when I learned just the new people coming in and just learning how ads work exactly, how to target interest in all that, and it works.
Yes. What exactly are you offering? What's the offer to the general public, to the moms? What are you giving them?
I'm giving them relief of pain. I'm giving them a community.
That's right.
I'm giving them tools to help them during their labor. Giving them love and care for an hour because they're exhausted mentally, physically. They're just going through so much. So I just give them some stretches to help.
Yeah. One of the big things that I've realized in watching and in hearing, and I'll share with you guys, is community. It seems it's something that's really come out of a lot, especially after COVID, is this sense of community. The best businesses create a sense of community in their client base, in their customer base. Now, if you're an attorney, that's going to be a little hard. If you're in that kind of service space, it's hard. But for Mamacita Yoga and for yoga studios, salons, like there's this idea. So specifically, moms didn't realize how unheard they feel. How, despite they're probably getting a lot of love from people around them, but they feel like they're alone, right? What were some of the things that we were hearing from them when they came in?
Well, one that stood out really from last class was the partner of my Mamacita felt like he couldn't help her. Like he could only help her so much.
That's right.
And she was just emotionally, just feeling very emotional. And he suggested for her to find a group of pregnant women.
Go find moms.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot sweeter, not just go.
No, I'm just I'm inventing the story.
But I think that story really stood out as far as they might feel like they're alone because it's just them pregnant and maybe in their family. Maybe there's one other person they know, but they're not constantly with them. So I think being in a room full of other pregnant women also going through the exact same symptoms, pains, joys, I think it's empowering. I think it reminds you that you're not alone.
And they even said it a couple of times, we're not alone. Like they started asking each other, like, do you have these pains? Do you
or
have,
just
what do you do when this happens?
advice and tips. And I love that, because I like this mom particularly, she was just encouraged by her partner, and she's like, okay, she was open to meeting other moms. She did feel like that was important. So she was open to coming, and she was trying to get a class in, but I feel like she got what she was wanting as far as meeting a group of moms, friends. I feel like they're gonna be here this
Almost
Saturday.
all of them are gonna be here.
The same moms that were here last class, they're gonna be here.
So one of the takeaways for me was that not only is the service itself, the relief, the pain, from some of the pains, the tools, being able to do some of these exercises on their own, not only are those beneficial, but it was this idea of coming together and meeting with other like-minded individuals, pregnant women, other pregnant women that they can bounce off of and vibe off of. The energy in the room was magnificent. The love, the compassion, the patience, because you have to wait for each other depending on where they were in their pregnancies. But community is something that I keep hearing and keep seeing in a lot of businesses that they're trying to nurture. They're realizing that people want to be heard. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger than just themselves. That other people are also having the same problems, and maybe they can have a solution. They can derive a solution from the group. So that was one of those key takeaways. Now, I guess I'm trying to think of the other way I wanted to go about this. What were some of the challenges before? So back up a little bit. What were some of the challenges you had in trying to put this together, your classes?
For this time around, I was having trouble finding a location. But I really wasn't, I say that, but I wasn't searching. I think.
How dare you?
Well, money's really tight, and I knew if I rented a studio, it would take away a lot. The renting of the studio, cost, and just where I am, and being, I say jobless.
You are. That's what an entrepreneur is. You're unemployable is the goal. You want to become unemployable. I'm jobless, but but I work a ton of hours.
So I think that was the biggest challenge, was I guess afraid of committing somewhere and knowing that it was going to cost that much. Mm-hmm. So I found a studio that I was super excited to use, but that didn't work out. And I kind of, again, just put it off. But then we talked about having the classes here in our house. We have a big loft, and the hallway is huge. So
we're in a big space, and it's pretty underutilized. We don't have a lot of stuff. I'm pretty much a minimalist in many ways, but over the course of the last couple of years, I've started to use it. Like, I have this big backdrop behind us. I've started to use it as a studio, and it dawned on me that was probably the biggest obstacle in her way. And I've met plenty of businesses in my career that bootstrap it and start where they're at. And it occurred to me, like, well, let's just start here. Let's just start here, start where we're at, start small, and just bring them in. So the decision was made to just do it here. I have the space, let's rock and roll. And then the next big piece to me was, hold on, I'm a marketer. I guarantee that this will work. How it will end up, what that final product will look like, what it will look like, we don't know yet. But I'm of the firm conviction that with good marketing, you will succeed. You may not succeed right away, and you may be at a loss for a while, but with good marketing, you can start to build traction, build confidence, start to figure out what the market really wants, understand the messaging, because once you have people in the room you start hearing the stories, you start understanding exactly what's going on. And it's something that I encourage a lot of business owners to do, is just launch as small as you can, even if you're just seeing them one-on-one. Because they're going to talk to you and they're going to share their issues, their pains, their joys, what their goals. That is what you need to leverage those conversations, their words in your marketing. And we're actually starting to do that. So in time, it's not profitable yet, but she has a brilliant idea that I think will eventually evolve into something else, combined with the fact that she has other skills that are unique. She has a unique set of skills, which are, what are some of your other passions or skills that they don't know, perhaps?
I am a pastry chef, and I love to cook. So that one gets everybody really excited when I tell them. So that, and
we eat really good around here.
I'll be becoming a doula.
Yes. Because you love babies. She wants to be a part of basically every phase of the baby process. I mean, pre and post and
Yep.
during.
So I think those are the biggest, right? I teach yoga, I cook.
Yeah. So she has a unique set of skills that I believe eventually she's going to combine. We don't know what it looks like. We have ideas what that will look like, but combine
It's
those
brewing,
skills is brewing. Sometimes, a package of cooking, preparing, dining.
My nannying experience.
The nanny, like, she has a way with children that is impeccable. She is one of the sweetest individuals you'll meet. Children love her on first sight, but she cares for them. She wants to help make sure that they're being cared for in the belly, and she does what is it, daddy, mommy, baby class. So she's got different various offerings, and their passions combined. I feel like eventually we'll get there, but we won't know. Now she is in a position where she doesn't have to get a business, actually lease a location, because that's a huge investment.
That was huge. You did ask the biggest challenge, and that was for sure. I feel like once I decided the location, then everything else fell into place.
That was the biggest domino. Yeah. So now it's like, let's schedule something. Let's move it forward. Let's put money behind it. Let's get people in here. Let's run the class. Let's see if we can get people in here. What do we need to change? Everything is a theory until you actually put it out there in the marketplace. And how many people did you get to the first class?
First class, I had five moms.
That was pretty good. It was a room. It was pretty filled up. We got to get more creative with the layout. 1 week, yes, right. We had 7 day lead up.
Promoting.
Yes.
So it was very quick when I decided, okay, this is when I want to teach the first class. It was just going to be a donation. Well, it was a donation. It was donation-based, yes. But to get some photos for marketing.
That's right.
So it really was collateral. Just like it was going to be just for photos. And I feel like it actually...
She did really well.
I don't know, motivated me to like, okay, here's the next one though.
The model itself was pretty fantastic. People felt compelled to give donate a good amount, because she gives so much. The product itself, the service was fantastic. So I think she did better than if she had charged. Which was the weird thing. And I know there's a business. Was it Black Swan? Or what's the Swan yoga place?
Black Swan Yoga.
Black Swan that does only donation-based classes.
Donation.
Yeah. Some people donate what you can. And they seem to have built an entire business around it, from what I understand. So I thought that was a good idea, and she did really, really well. So it proved out a couple of concepts. We learned some things. We have photos. We have video. None of this is possible without just pushing it out, right? And now we actually got some better messaging for it as well. That's one of the biggest ways that you started to grow since you decided to quit your job and to do this full time. But what was the second approach, the second way that I've encouraged you to a second way that I've encouraged you to go out into the market, into the city, into the town.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
What was the second approach that I've
wow.
encouraged you to take?
Networking. I used to network for the yoga studio that I worked for. So I did a little bit of it, but Teevee here invited me to East Dallas Networking Group. They meet on Thursdays in the afternoon. I was just maybe the day before, he's like, hey, you want to go to a networking group? I'm like, sure, let's go. And I went, and they hadn't seen Teevee in a long time.
I used to go there. I've been going there off and on since 2011 or so. And I know many of the ongoing members. I know the founder really well. He's a good friend of mine, Chuck Koblish. Hi. And it occurred to me that I miss people. I don't really need networking to grow my business anymore. What I discovered was and learned about myself is that I miss people. I miss connections, especially after COVID. So that morning I woke up, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back networking.
Babe, you want to go with me? I think you should go. It's going to help you. This is how it helped me.
And she was like, oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
She was a little tickled by the fact I invited her.
And the first meeting or first group that I went to, I met Tracy, and he is one of the managers, or the main manager at CBD House of Healing. So I did in East Dallas, I did my quick commercial, and Tracy came up to me after the meeting and asked if I was interested in teaching a yoga class once a week, because they've been searching for a yoga teacher to come teach at their CBD shop. And I said yes, because I have been trying to build my schedule and just teach at different places to get money. And
so she doesn't just teach prenatal yoga.
Right.
So it doesn't have to.
Right. So I am teaching there once a week. So it's been great working with them. With this, I'm meeting new people, different people also wanting me to teach classes for them. So
Opportunities are coming up.
yes, and I feel like that helps stay motivated and excited because I'm meeting more people, and networking is so important. I feel like it's up there with the ads.
Not all networking groups are the same. There are some with a lot of rules, a lot of rules on what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, exclusivity, like you can only have one of each. And in fact, one of the first groups that I was in, one of each business, so one insurance agent, one web designer, one yoga instructor.
Fitness instructor or something. Right?
And actually, the very first one that I ever went to, I got kicked out of, even though I was invited there by someone, and told that I couldn't go back. Chuck, the founder and the leader, our fearless blue-eyed leader of EDN, was there, and he said, "Don't worry about it, bro. Just come on to mine." I went there, and the way he runs it is that anybody's welcome. There's enough business for everyone. So I started going and build the business, build the relationships. The business will come as one of his key little phrases that he says, and it's true. Because essentially we all do business with people that we trust, know, like, and trust. And if you've ever done any networking, or you've heard these over and over again. So this group is really structured in such a way where that's encouraged. No sales pitches are allowed. You really are encouraged to just connect. So I did, and I didn't know what I was doing anyways. I didn't know how to network per se, so I wasn't that kind of person. Needless to say, the point of all that is I showed up, and I showed up for a while, and eventually that was what first started getting my business to start to work. I started seeing promise. When I first started, nobody was referring me because nobody really knew me. And when I started getting referrals from the people in the community, in the group, they were giving me referrals. They weren't giving me business. They trusted me as an individual, and they referred me to other people. This Teevee can take care of you. He's a really good person. Kind of those kind of referrals. And of course, I kicked it out of the ballpark. I hit it out of the ballpark. Maybe I kicked it too. Sorry, I have braces and I keep biting myself right now, so I'm struggling. And retainers, so I need to slow down possibly, but it's really bugging me. But they were giving me referrals, and it wasn't them. And eventually some of them did hire me, but the know, like, and trust was built that they were referring me out. One of the big things that I find about networking is, especially this kind of group, is that it's not necessarily about the people in the group. In fact, I interviewed someone today for EDN and asked him to do a testimonial. Now, he said something that stuck with me, because his business also like kicked into hyperdrive once he started coming to EDN. He basically realized that when he comes, he does garage doors. And if you own a home, you have a garage, more than likely have a garage door. So the potential marketplace, the potential clients for him are through the roof. But when he started coming consistently, building that know, like, and trust, it's as if he had 30 or 40 salespeople working for him perpetually. Because they trusted him. Yes. It's a great metaphor. Yeah. So they were looking out for him. They trusted him. They heard stories of his successes.
They hear anybody.
Yes. Remotely interested.
Oh, my garage door. Oh, I know somebody.
And something I learned through studying human behavior, we feel good about having someone. We feel good about knowing how to hook people up. Like, oh, I know a web designer. Like, I got you. I know someone from my group. I have a guy that does doors, garage doors. Let me hook you up. So networking isn't necessarily about the people in the room. If you're looking at who in the room is going to lead to business, then you're doing it the wrong way. Now, granted, some of them may be, but if you're looking at it that way, then you're already seeing it as a sales opportunity and not really as an opportunity to get to know them and become friends. If you become friends, like some of those people are my best friends. I actually led the group today, and that came up. I said that because it's true. Chuck is one of my best friends. I love that man. He's a fantastic human being. I encouraged her to do it because I knew that it could help. I don't know how. I don't know when. In fact, as Chuck says, our leader, I keep saying his name, so Chuck, you better watch this.
Or hear this.
And hear this. He says, come for 6 weeks. Give us a try for 6 weeks and then see what happens. Like, come every single week, make the connections, do the one-on-ones. So that's the way to build it, because you have trust comes through time. That's just human behavior. We show up the first day and she meets someone the very first day that needs her specific product or offering. That was unexpected. I'm not going to lie to you. That was like, whoa. But since then, what else have you experienced?
Since then, I think the next meeting. So I met Tracy the first meeting. I scheduled a meeting with him and the owner, and like that next week I started teaching for them. Then that next meeting, I scheduled 2 one-on-ones on the same day. So I
It's not necessarily encouraged. It's a lot of work.
Unless you do them back to back.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. I enjoy meeting and going to coffee and just chatting and getting to know somebody's story. Just hearing someone's story.
What got them here? Why they do what they do?
Yeah. So what else? I feel like I'm making new friends. Now it's cool because you'll go in, and when I was new, they were all waving at you. Right? And
They're not waving at me anymore?
They're still waving at you. Okay. But we sit apart. We make it a point to where we sit apart, so we're not just chatting with each other. We're sitting like across the room separately. So it encourages to speak with others and get to know other people.
From day one, that's what... No, actually, we sat together day one.
So when he's busy chatting with someone else, I'm now coming in and waving and smiling and saying, hi, how are you, to the people that I've already done one-on-ones with. So now I feel like every week I have at least one
new person.
one new person to get to know, or two,
Yeah.
usually two or one. And was today our fifth?
I think it was our fifth and we
Our
came back.
fifth?
Your fifth. I missed it last week.
Fifth week today. So it's great. I mean, we met Stephanie, or I
Yes.
met Stephanie. I think you knew her before, who's a physical therapist.
Fantastic. Practice.
And we went to, so everybody's has workshops and events that they offer and they have for people.
Yes.
So, and this is a great way to learn about those.
Businesses. And to be educated as well. We went to a pelvic floor workshop.
Or is it gonna go with this?
Yes, I was the only guy in the room because, I don't know, I'm awesome that way. I want to learn about this stuff.
He is.
I
He's
was
very
the-
open.
I was getting a lot of attention like as the only man in the room. But it was a free workshop to learn more about what that involves and how critical it is to bodily
Pelvic floor,
function.
the health of your pelvic floor, hormone imbalance.
Katie, Stephanie from, I forgot the name, Empower Physical Therapy. They hosted it, did a fantastic job. I felt educated. I also met a concierge type of OBGYN that helps women with that kind of stuff. And
Dr. Camellia.
oh my God, thank you. She's so good with names. I'm working on that. But we met her and learned more about the practice and that concierge model that she has in place. So I'm interested in that for my daughters so they can start understanding these kinds of things, because I feel like women's health, our own health, we don't know enough about it till it's too late, like when we're having issues. So what about understanding it at a young age? Long story short, you learn so much, you meet so many cool people, and this happens through
And you
networking.
learn. So I wanted to go to learn, because that topic, right,
Yes.
it's a topic that my moms have to
Yes,
have.
you have to have
like-
intimate knowledge of some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's part of the birthing process, right? Like, so I wanted to go to learn, and it was such a great experience. And through there I met one of Stephanie's physical therapists
Which is mine.
and the OBGYN doctor. So, and working
Other opportunities are going to
other
come out of that.
opportunities, which is so neat. Like, they talk about it. People talk about. I think hearing it from Chuck for the first time, like, okay, it's like, okay, you meet someone, and then from that someone, you meet maybe two people from that. Maybe from those two people, you meet another couple of people. So then you're like, well, how did I meet those? And
You track-
right now, it's all boiling down to EDN.
Yeah. So she's gaining traction there.
Part of my story of this second time around.
And you've only been at it for about a month.
Yeah.
Like really full force for about a month. So between those two, between digital marketing, which I support 100%, is what I do, but the networking, which is what helped me help catapult my business into viability and then sustainability, being able to sustain my livelihood. In fact, now I'm not even taking on more clients because I'm in such a good position that taking on more my quality will suffer. But somebody asked me today, well, if you have so many clients, why are you here networking? Because of the people. Because I've learned that I really enjoy being around people, and I need to get out of this house. I love my loft, but not enough to stay here all the time. I've done enough of that. COVID has forced us. I really, really enjoy people. And then, of course, I can run back to the cave afterwards. It's not like I got to be out there because I do like my peace and quiet. But I want to be out there. I want to be meeting people. I want to still be in the community. And if I can help in some way, I will. So that's what it's about. You shouldn't be networking only when you need something out of networking. Damn, did I just say that? I could.
That was good.
I need it. Yeah. Snaps. I got snaps. You should be. I'm reminded of something I used to say. Students, even if you have a job, you should be networking, finding some group to network with, so you have another group of people that are kind of looking out for you, that have your best interest. They've known you for a while. And then when you need something, you can reach out to your network and say, hey, I'm out of a job right now. Do you know someone? Now, that takes work to manage and to maintain, but I feel like it's an undervalued skill and undervalued skill set to nurture, and nurture in such a way that it's not just, because this is the model that's consistent, is shoving your business cards in everyone's faces. That's not networking. Actually getting to know people. I think I'll step off my podium now. Networking is very, very useful. Even as a digital marketer, you would think I'd be shouting, no, you don't need to do it. But we need to be around other human beings. I
want to add something to
please
that.
do. Please.
I think going in not expecting is huge too. Because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to become friends with all these people. Or I'm going to sell, like, I'm going to get rich out of I don't know. You just don't, like you said, shoving cards. I didn't go in shoving cards in everybody's face because not everybody is interested.
Nobody's going to be interested.
And
Not if you just met them.
If you're forcing that too, right? If you're forcing something on them, they might, if anything, make them want to resist and really not want to learn more about what's happening. So being patient for sure. It takes time. I think just going as yourself and not expecting anything. Just go. It's nerve-wracking. I feel like a lot of people are so nervous.
To do the 30-second commercials.
Yeah, the 30-second commercial.
I get stupid nervous every time.
I get butterflies too, but it's like everyone in there's nervous. So just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you get better at it. You don't stop being nervous, but you get better at it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I love is that by that point, after a few weeks, you know a handful of people that you can look at familiar faces that are just like, you got this.
And everybody's so encouraging too. That's what I've learned.
Yes, it's just
for sure. It's like, okay, be you. You will attract someone, because if you hear something, you're like, ooh, I want to learn more about that. So then you go, not being afraid to also go to them. Don't expect people just to come to you. Yeah. And I think I did that intentionally. I heard that somebody was having a class for time management, and I'm struggling with that with this new life. So I reached out to her. I went to her to talk to her and asked her more about like just details. So I think that it's going to people, but then I think they can tell, like, okay, she's open to going. She's open to or he isn't afraid to like go, not expecting like give me
take.
Take. It's just kind of a back and forth thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that you're approachable, that you're actually reaching out.
Yes.
And you're reaching out as opposed to waiting for people to come, for others to come to you. Right? Is that
exactly.
Did I understand that correct? See,
yes.
I listen.
You do listen. You're a great listener.
I try.
I love you because you're a great listener.
You heard that here.
I think that's another biggie. It's like a go in, don't expect, but also when you go in, reach out to them.
I'll finish with this thought. Especially as it relates to networking. Inevitably, you're going to be in a group, and if you go to enough networking groups, you're going to find a ton of insurance people, a ton of realtors, it used to be, although I didn't see it this time around, I haven't seen them since I've been back, a ton of marketers. And because this is an open group, there is no exclusivity around it. It can be seen as a bad thing. But the fact is that there's enough business for everyone. Everyone can eat. And I took that approach. I decided to be that person that was open to everyone and not running away or shying away from them. And one of the coolest things that happened during the networking is that I ended up meeting people that did marketing. And inevitably, marketing is a huge space. So almost none of them did what I did. So that idea that we couldn't be in the same room together is kind of silly. But there was one person in the room that was going back in the day that did almost what I did. And it was a little threatening because he was a tall, white, handsome man. And And
You're tall.
no, this dude is tall. I'll tell you. Okay, his dude is huge, flowy hair, and he was a marketer, charismatic. But I wanted to meet him, but I hadn't got around to it. But people kept on telling me that I needed to meet him back then. And apparently people were telling him that he needed to meet me. And eventually we get it on the schedule. I remember very vividly sitting down not far from where we're at right now. I forget the name of that coffee shop. We sit down and he says, so everyone says I should meet you. That's a funny thing. Everybody says I should meet you. We get to talk and we hit it off. And we become really good friends. To this day, we're best of friends. He now lives in California and runs a winery, a vineyard. Phil Ogilvy, love you, brother. So if you're listening to this, and the people that were setting us up essentially were like so proud that we got to see each other, that we get along. The point of all that is it doesn't even matter if you're in the same industry. Not everyone is going to vibe off of your approach, your personality, or your whatever, the way
That you could work together.
Yes, you could help each
to
other.
Build your business.
Yeah,
Like,
he would send me business
team.
and vice versa. I think I had a couple of commission checks from him, at least one, because I sent him business for clients that I couldn't service. He did bigger, higher scope things, bigger scope, and I was stayed on within a certain scale. It doesn't matter. Show up, and even if you're in the direct competition, you can still show up and at least be friendly, and like it doesn't matter. Don't feel intimidated, or what's the other word I'm looking for? Like you just don't feel like it, like you both can't eat and you both can't succeed because you're in the same room. Because ultimately, it doesn't even really matter. That's my biggest takeaway as it relates to networking. And the friendships that you build in there, they're just cool people. You're all going through the same struggles, which is building a business. Mm-hmm. And you share the war stories, hang out. Like it's so many benefits to it that I highly encourage people to do it. That I'm starting a little networking group. So I'll tell you more about that in another podcast because it's getting there. You have some more thoughts, baby?
I think just to summarize our talk,
yes.
And as a new business owner, talking to maybe new business owners starting up, is invest in the ads, invest in social media, because everyone is on there, even TikTok.
Yes, absolutely.
Your grandma is on TikTok.
Yeah, the business I'm working for, we're going to be trying to find clients for them that are on TikTok, on Instagram,
I'm not even on TikTok yet, but
she's about to be.
I am about to be. So that's one. Invest in the ads, even if it's a little bit at first, it's fine. Learn the system.
Yes, get comfortable.
Do the ads, because once you learn the ads, you're gonna get in front of people's faces, and that's what you want.
You can't do enough networking
because everyone is on their phone.
I was driving, and I saw an old lady. She had to have been 60, at the stop sign, checking her phone, scrolling. I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear crap about the younger generation being on their phone, because you old farts are on there too.
It's addicting. I think just take advantage of it.
Yes.
Each platform has their ad
yes.
way.
Yes.
But learn about it, and I think that biggest thing. And then 2, take photos of your business. Don't use
stock photography. Photography.
Even if you use your phone.
Yes.
People will. The thumb stoppers.
Yes. You want to get people to stop their thumb and actually pay attention.
It's better. It's better. I don't know how to
if they see an ad or they see something that you've created, a piece of content.
That's real.
Yeah.
Because the stock photography, it looks just so staged. It looks so fake.
We know.
I mean, it's a real person, right? It's just
We've evolved as an internet society to the point We were more sophisticated. We know that stock photography, that's not the doctor. That's not the dentist that's actually going to work on my teeth. That's not the staff. And that's not actually a patient. So if that's not all real, then who are you?
Who are you? And people want to see who's behind.
Who's going to be
business.
drilling in my mouth?
Yeah, I think so that invest in taking pictures, even if it's with your phone. Your phone is usually like
Pretty damn good now.
yeah, amazing. So use it and take photos of your business, show people who you are, and network. Totally check out EDN. I would recommend it, hands down.
Fantastic group.
Because they're wanting to teach you, and they are very encouraging. So I think from a new business owner, as a startup,
Yes.
telling somebody maybe getting started, those would be my tips.
You gave those tips to one of your ex-bosses.
I did. She was struggling.
With that, we will end this podcast and this video. Thank you for tuning in. It was a long one. Hopefully you're able to take away some tips, some nuggets to take back to your business. Please, wait, before I say anything else, thank you for coming on, babe. I love you dearly. You mean the world to me, and you're going to succeed. And I can't wait to share this with the world. You're already succeeding, but it's going to be like,
Thank you for asking me. It was an honor to be on the TV show. This was fun. I feel like we have these conversations off camera too. So it
doesn't
feels
matter
natural.
recording it. Yeah. After the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for having me. I feel honored to be a part of it. I love you. Thank you so much for
Oh, this just became a cheese fest. I need
believing
cheese
in me.
everywhere.
We love cheese.
We love cheese. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to share this. Watch what I'm doing. I'm doing this on purpose, intentionally. I'm going to chop this up into little reels and little TikToks and share it everywhere. This is content that needs to be put out. You can do the very same thing. Do it for yourself. Put it out. Put a little money behind it. And little by little by little, you're going to start stacking views, impressions, people engaging, and people interested in your services. Until next time, bye-bye.
Where's the button? Oh, there it is.
Oh, hey.